I have 5 minutes, approximately 650 words. I could stand here reading names for my entire speech and not even touch the tip of the iceberg. Brooks Hansen, me. Michael Hansen, my brother. Kenny Stubblefield. The Houston Chronicles Abuse of Faith series alone highlighted at least 700 victims. In reality, though, we're talking thousands of more victims of sexual abuse within the Southern Baptist Church. Numbers beyond the time I have allotted today. Decades and decades of abuse and power-hungry leadership. These decades-old issues are not fresh on the ears and minds of Southern Baptist leaders. Looking back at the all too familiar events of 2006 and 2007 that Krista referenced, I feel like I'm stuck in a nightmarish scene from Groundhog Day. For years, strong women and men have pointedly called for justice and action from these leaders, and their cries have fallen on deaf ears. The irony of J.D. Greer's Civil Rights Tour of Alabama cannot be missed. 5 years prior to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. penning his letter from a Birmingham jail, he made his first national address. It was titled, "Give Us the Ballot." King called for basic rights that would put power back in the hands of black people. King called for tangible actions. King called for justice on behalf of over 20 million oppressed people. "Give us our voice," King cried. Yet, he still found himself in a Birmingham jail in April of 1963, writing a letter in response to a public statement of concern and caution issued by 8 white religious leaders, just like these guys. He found the same injustices running rampant despite decades of warnings. And in that moment, alienated and silenced, much like the SBC has tried to do with us tonight, King said this: "I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. Injustice is what brings you and I here tonight." Later in that letter, King penned the famous line, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one affects all indirectly. The injustice perpetuated by sexual abusers and those who abet them, like the powerful men in this building here in Birmingham, affects not only victims like me, Michael, Kenny, and so many of you, it affects all of us. "Justice too long delayed is justice denied," King said. Well, I'm tired of justice being denied to victims of abuse and their families. King's prophetic words must be heeded. Even this week, for such a time as this, organizers were rebuked for a lack of thankfulness and gratitude for the progress that's been made so far, and a need for greater patience moving forward. But they say, yet again, wait. I hear never. I stand here today not for myself, but for the young teenager who's walking in the same shoes that I wore in 1998. I'm here after years of being silenced, relegated to a street corner, and speaking loudly for the thousands of others that have had their stories and voices taken away from them. Give us our voices. I'm here calling for tangible action, not words. Not tomorrow, not next week, not 10 years from now, today. And until we get what we're asking for, we must remain vigilant and be what Dr. King's mentor, Bayard Rustin, called angelic troublemakers for the cause. Finally, I want to end by speaking about the evil of silence in the face of the abuse that brings us all here today. Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, "In keeping silent about evil, in burying it so deep within us that no sign appears on the surface, we are implanting it, and it will rise up 1,000-fold in the future. When we neither punish nor reproach evildoers, we are not simply protecting their trivial old age, we are thereby ripping the foundations of justice beneath new generations like my two kids that are here. And if these actions cannot be seen quickly on the horizon, I encourage all of you in the Southern Baptist Church, walk away. Rip out these implanted injustices. Rebuild the foundations of justice for yourself and the generation of your children and beyond, because we can no longer afford to wait. Too much is at stake. Thank you.